Hello, hello. Welcome back to Silver Archer Tarot. I'm a Sagittarius with the tarot deck, and today we are going to be talking about who your person is. If you have been feeling a little forgotten by the universe lately, this is your sign that everything is working in your favor. I've done this reading a few times with friends recently, and it's such a mood boost. I'm very excited about it. So today we've got a few questions. We are going to ask, what is your person's personality? What do you admire about your person? What annoys you about your person? What is your journey together going to look like? And then signs that they are your person. So we are going to be using the Everyday Witch Tarot. And then I have a few oracle decks as well that we will be using. So today is a pick a card tarot reading. I do intend this to be for singles or people who are in early stages of dating. Feel free to watch it if you've already found your person for confirmation, but of course follow your intuition. This is just a tarot reading on YouTube. So you are going to choose your pile. That is my dog. By choosing one of these cards. So we've got the Fool, the first card of tarot. This will be pile 1. Pile 2, we've got the Knight of Cups. And for pile 3, we have the Lovers. So you can use your intuition, think about it for a moment, take a deep breath if you want to do pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. If you need a bit more help, then I also have sun signs right here. So I am going to assign these to each group. Now, if you've already chosen, if you're like pretty sure, oh, I want to do pile 1, go ahead and do pile 1. Follow your intuition. There's no right or wrong way. Just because I assign a star sign to a pile does not mean you have to do that. This is just for people who need extra help, who don't like making decisions. So let's pull our 4 for pile 1, pile 2, and then pile 3. Alrighty, so we have Libra, pile 1, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Cancer. So very air and water dominated over here. For pile 2, if you need that extra decision making, we have Capricorn, Taurus. Wow, so we've got some earth energy over here. Aries. And Virgo. Wow, all the earth signs are in this one. Okay. And then over at the Lovers, we've got Sagittarius, Leo, Pisces, and Gemini. So a little bit of everything over here with the Lovers. Okay, I will have timestamps. Go ahead, skip to the chapter of your pile, and I will see you shortly. Hello, pile 1. If you chose the Fool as your card, then this is your pile. If you needed the extra help, then if you are Libra, Aquarius, Scorpio, or Cancer, this is your pile. If you chose this and you are not one of these signs, that is totally fine. This is just for people who don't like making decisions and want a little extra help with that. So today we are going to ask about your person. We're first going to ask about their personality. We're also going to ask what you admire and what annoys you about your person. Lastly, we're going to get some information about your journey together and signs. All right, let me do a few shuffles. Okay, so what is pile 1's person's personality? Immediately we have that popping out. I'm now gonna cut the deck. Take this, this, and this. Okay. Okay, move him over to the side. Okay, so first we are assessing what is your person's personality. So off the bat, we've got some wand energy here. 3 of these cards are wands, so they might be a fire sign. This could also just mean that they are quite driven people, quite inspired people. Now, some of these, it looks like, even though they're inspired, look, I can tell you they don't give up easily, even when things get hard. I think they attempt to approach things with a sense of curiosity, with a sense of balance right here with the Temperance card, right? We can see here they have got cupcakes, they've also got carrots, they've got a laptop, they've also got books, right? So approaching life with a sense of balance. I think this is also Sagittarius's card, so there could be a lot of Sagittarius energy in their chart, but they like to approach things with balance. I think they also rely on their intuition. With the Page of Wands, this can represent, I am so sorry, my dog is so freaking loud right now. Of course, this is the one time of the day she wants to roll around on the ground and run and eat and all the things. So with the Page of Wands, we have this sense of curiosity. We have this sense of, I have this idea of the path I'm going down, but if something catches my eye, if I get the sense of intuition to go elsewhere, to look elsewhere, to do this new thing, I'm gonna follow that. With the Two of Swords as well, I think sometimes they might go, yes, I have this curiosity, I'm not super confident in this path, but I'm gonna go with it anyway, and their intuition does lead them to the right spot. So I think your person is intuitive. They try to live a very balanced life or have a balanced approach to things, right? They know they need to plan ahead, but they also understand that, hey, if there's a new restaurant that you see out and about, like, go try it, you know? If there's a work opportunity that like really captures your interest, like it doesn't hurt to ask, right? It doesn't hurt to apply. It doesn't hurt to gain more information about that. Now, I think your person is hardworking and see things through, even when they're getting kind of beat up for it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have been on some long journey to get to where they are today. Something like, if they've pursued like multiple degrees and they're feeling really beat up now that they are finally, I don't know, a resident or are getting through, you know, residency after undergrad and med school and all of the things. It could also be something like they've moved quite a bit and it's been good for them, but they are just feeling kind of run down a bit with the moving all of the time. It could also be something like they've done multiple jobs. Again, it's something where it's not like a bad thing. It's gotten them to where they need to be today, but not all the time do they feel beat up, but there are certainly going to be times where they are just so tired from this. But the good news is they're not giving up. They are seeing their way through. They're kind of actually stubborn about seeing things through. So I'm interested to see what annoys you about your person. I wonder if that's going to come up there where you're like, God, can you just like quit? Like, okay, this is like not good for you. Please, like, is it really worth all of this effort? Because I think there's someone who's like, I made a commitment. I'm going to see it through. And who knows, maybe that's something that you can come in and help them out with a little bit. But again, that's not a bad thing to see things through. I think that's a really positive quality. You might just need to help them out with that a bit. Okay, so I mean, I think, again, your person's personality, I think they are curious, they have a plan, they stick to that plan, but I think they're also open they're open to new things, they're open to paths they maybe didn't quite expect, which, I have a different reading that'll be coming out next week where we'll also figure out like where you guys meet and what you help them with and things like that. But I kind of wonder if the way you meet might be this kind of unexpected journey, right? Like they see this new coffee shop and they try it out and you're in there reading a book, right? I don't know, we'll have to watch that reading. But I think they're, again, like they have a plan, they have a path, they're not afraid to deviate from said path. Even if they're doubtful, their intuition does ultimately lead them to where they need to go. Like their intuition is spot on. I think they approach life with this sense of balance. And again, possibly we've got some Sagittarius energy there, and they see things through even when the going gets tough. This sounds like a great person. This sounds like a stable person. Okay, I'm gonna move these up a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna pull a card. What do you admire about your person? What does pile one admire about their person? Oh, wow, that fell right out. And then what is something that annoys you? The Sun, that's a positive card. Why does that annoy you? You might have to ask for some clarifying cards. Okay, this feels opposite. So we've got the Devil card here for what you admire about your person. And then we've got the Sun card for what annoys you about your person, which is really interesting because, I don't know, I would have thought this could be like the opposite. So let's think about what this can mean. What do you admire about your person? The Devil. So the Devil can represent, it can represent self-sabotage. It can represent at its extreme things like addictions or just bad habits that people get in, but something that they, okay, addiction, I don't think people have total control over it, right? It's a disease, but there are some things that, like with the Devil, it can also represent bad habits that you do have control over. So I kind of wonder, has your person grown a lot? Were they someone who, sorry about the dog again, were they someone who, again, maybe on the light end of bad habits, were like a total procrastinator and now they're not? Here we see specifically he's holding, you know, some vices like, you know, money, ice cream, sweets. So maybe they were a big spender and now they have gotten really good at saving and having a high yield saving account, and maybe they invest now as well. Maybe they did do something like gambling and they don't anymore. With the sweets, again, if we want to take this literally, it could be that they have a healthy relationship with food. Maybe they did not before. Whichever direction that falls, they could have been counting every calorie, counting every macro, and now they have, you know, they've repaired that relationship. Or the opposite, right? Didn't really listen to what their body needed. And now that is something that they are mindful of. So I think your person has overcome something. And this could be, again, like a bad habit they had. This could have been some, a reflection of maybe like how they were raised, right? Maybe they weren't taught how to have balanced meals or the importance of paying your credit card each month or whatever it might be. So I think they have overcome something. That's something that you really admire about them. Wow. What annoys you about your person? The Sun. So the Sun, like I said, is this very positive card that means just being your true, authentic self and being confident in that. And so I wonder if it annoys you because maybe that's something that you struggle with. Like maybe you're jealous. Like, so maybe it's not something that annoys you, but maybe you're jealous that like, wow, you can meet someone brand new and you are totally yourself with them. You are open, you are funny, and like maybe you are more on the shy side. And so that just like kind of annoys you that they can just make friends with anybody. I'm also wondering if maybe they're incredibly likable. And so again, back to that idea of like, they're friends with everyone. Maybe they're lucky, always get, you know, an extra smile or a free treat at the bakery. And you're like, that never happens to me. Like, why does that always happen to you? So I think this is like a good-hearted, like, gosh dang it, how come everyone just loves you? Like, it's actually a very, very good, positive thing. I don't think this is anything serious. I think this is like fantastic that you have someone that everyone really likes, and how wonderful that your person does feel confident to be themselves no matter what group they are in. That is so funny. Okay, I'm gonna move all these slightly again because now I want to see what is your journey together going to be like. We're gonna pull a couple cards here. So what is pile one's journey with their person going to look like? Let's just cut the deck. Boom, boom, boom. Bottom of the deck. Yeah, we can't see those. I'm just gonna move those up there. Okay, so what is your journey together going to look like? Okay. Well, Two of Cups, that's a great sign. I think you guys are very complementary to one another. And so again, I wonder if the reason this annoys you is because you're like maybe socially anxious, or it takes you time to warm up to people, or like you try but you're nervous, and so you're like, gosh dang it, how can you just like be your full self? And so yeah, Two of Cups, I think you guys are just very complementary to one another. I think you're gonna get along. I think you're going to be like genuine friends, teammates. You know, their strengths are different than your strengths, which is great. Right? Someone likes to cook, thank God. The other one hates to cook, but they don't mind doing dishes, right? So you can split the chores that way. So I think also that I think it's going to be very comfortable when you're with them. With the Knight of Swords, this is really fast-moving energy. So I wonder a couple of things. I wonder if maybe you guys do move pretty quickly. Like if we put this in another order, we've got Hermit, Two of Cups, Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups, and she's pregnant over here. So maybe it is like a really, the floor out of the way so you can see all this better. So maybe it is just like a really fast relationship. I mean, they say when you know, you know. So it could be moving like very quickly, like you're dating, almost immediately you make it official, you get engaged, married, and pregnant like all in the same year. Doesn't have to be, but that's a possibility. Another possibility with our Knight of Swords here, they might be coming on a little strongly, like very clearly pursuing you, but you're like, are you love bombing me? Like you can't quite tell if this is like a positive thing or too much. So that could be something to look out for as well. when you guys are together though, I think emotionally you're both gonna feel really fulfilled. I don't know if possibly in former relationships you felt kind of the opposite of this. You felt like it is not equal, it's not even. Maybe you were like the only one in the relationship with emotions, or maybe you were constantly walking on eggshells because they could not control their emotions. But I think you're both just going to feel so safe with each other with the emotions. I think you're going to feel the emotions, yes. But I think you're going to feel very, very safe about it and know that it's never out of, no one's trying to harm one another. The other is aware of the other person's emotions, even if they don't have the most tact while maybe approaching something. They're not doing it on purpose, and they are actively trying their best and trying to get better when you are discussing topics that you have different opinions on, different points of views, or different emotions are coming up there. Again, with like the pregnancy here, that could indicate a family in your future if that's something that you want. We also see though lots of pets here. So many couples too. We've got 2 dolphins there. Oh my god, there's a little cat family. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. Right on the throne. There is a little cat family. Okay, so if a family is something that you want, it'll be possible with this person. And if you just want an animal family, you want lots of pets, then I think it's going to be, again, like a safe space. Like I think this is going to be, you're going to be very compatible. You're also going to feel safe with one another. With the Hermit here, I have a few ideas about what this could mean. Sometimes with the Hermit, sometimes the Hermit can mean like being alone, waiting. So there's like a few different interpretations here. For one, this could mean, since this is asking about your journey together, this could indicate that this is just not happening yet. Perhaps you meet after a period of time when you have been alone, when you have, I kind of hate when people are like, oh, like work on yourself, you're single, whatever. But not that like you're alone and working on yourself, but you're alone and like you've built a fulfilling life for yourself, right? You don't need fixing. There's nothing you need to do, but you are like, yeah, I'm content, and I'm only gonna bring someone in if they're adding to my life. So that's a possibility here, is that you are not meeting them until you've had a period of being in your Hermit energy, of just making your life what you want. I know that can be disappointing to hear, but hey, if you've been single for a while, then like this really could be happening at any time. Some other possibilities, it's possible that during times in this relationship, you will be physically by yourself. So if your person is in the military, maybe they're deployed, and so you are living by yourself during that time. Maybe they just have a job where they work night shift. So it could be something in the medical field, first responder. And so you do have like nights, literal, nights where you are alone and by yourself. That's what I'm thinking this is. I don't see this being like, oh my God, you're gonna get divorced and be alone. No, I think there's gonna be moments where you are alone though. But I think you're gonna be confident in that. Like it's not, oh my God, we're not together all the time, and so I'm worried about what he's doing, or like, does he still like me, or anything like that. Like, no, it's a very confident solitude. So yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards either they have a job or you have a job, which means that you will be apart at times. Remember, there's also chapters and seasons for everything, so this does not mean that like during your entire marriage or time together that you are going to be by yourself. More so, I think it's going to be like a TDY or like a stint of night shift or something like that. Maybe they work in the oil field. Yeah, so I don't think it's a it's a bad thing by any means. So at your journey together, I think you're going to be very complementary with one another, feel like a teammate. It's going to be a very emotionally safe place. And I think it's going to move quickly. And they're going to say things and you're like, how do you, like, what do you mean I'm the one? We've known each other for 6 dates, you know? So just keep that in mind. And hey, if your person, if you need them to like rein it in a little bit, tell them, okay? Don't want you feeling uncomfortable by any means. Okay, so, lastly, we're going to look at signs that they are your person. So I'm going to pull a few tarot cards, and then I'm also going to pull a few oracle cards. So what are some signs for pile 1 that this is their person, that they have met their person? What are some, I feel like that one wanted to pop out, some signs? Cut the deck, renew this, and then bottom of the deck energy. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna layer these. I'll let you start looking at these while I also pull some oracle cards. So I'm going to use the Spirit of the Animals Oracle. So we'll pull one of these, and then also the Starseed Oracle for a message. I went ahead and pulled these off camera. So we have We the Hathors, Deep Love, Mother's Milk, Birth as Portal, and Horse Freedom. Your heart is pure and free, a greater purpose calls you. You have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength. You follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. I should have planned out this spacing a bit better, but it is what it is. Okay, some other signs we have are the Hierophant. I think that's how you pronounce it, Hierophant. Wow, we're just stacking these. Hopefully you can see them all right. We also have Ace of Wands and Judgment. So off the bat, you know, earlier we were talking about the Page of Wands, and I was saying, you know, I think your person has a plan, but they also are not afraid to, one, I don't think they're afraid to like take the road less traveled, but also I think they're open to new experiences, new opportunities, new directions that like wasn't in the plan. And so I'm wondering if that aligns with our Ace of Wands here. I get the sense that you guys, like a sign is that you guys are gonna meet by you doing something new. So this might actually be a new thing for both of you. With the Hierophant here, this can represent traditional learning, like teacher-student. So here they're like doing yoga. So it literally could be you sign up for a yoga class and they end up in their little Page of Wands journey over here. They're like, I need a new activity to do. Oh, look, there is yoga. That'll be good for my stress. Let me take it, right? And so you might meet each other with that. But I think you're gonna take a new class of some sort. It might be painting. Here we see music a few times. So there might be something about music that is relevant to you guys or how you meet. Yeah. Maybe you're taking a music class, maybe you're a part of choir, maybe you meet at a concert. That's not really a class that you're taking though. I'm also wondering with Judgment, Judgment is like when you've been through a cycle like multiple times. So I also kind of wonder if you are maybe taking up a class that you have been interested in a while, or maybe you're even teaching this class. Like maybe you are the artist and you're like, I'm gonna get into teaching, right? I've done this before as a student, I'm now gonna be a teacher. And then maybe your person ends up taking this class with you. Or it could be as you're teaching this class, right? As you are exiting in the parking lot, then your person also happens to be walking in the parking lot and you guys strike up a conversation. But I think for you, it's gonna be connected to something creative. And again, I'm seeing like a traditional like teacher, student, class setting. And the fact that we've got judgment here makes you think you are leading this. It could also be leading a book club. It could be leading a cooking class. It could be like a small group at church. Again, music related. But I think that's like the context in which you're meeting. It could also be if you've been thinking about taking a class of some sort. And again, by class, I don't mean like a college class. I mean, it could be, I don't know your age. I'm thinking like, you know, at the YMCA, they've got like Zumba class. At different, you know, Pilates and bar studios, they have like those kind of classes. Parks and recreation, things like that. But this, with judgment, this doesn't necessarily mean you're the teacher. You could be a student, but maybe it's something that you had interest in like as a child and just haven't done it in a very long time, right? Maybe when you first engaged in this activity, this thing, book club, whatever it is, you were a child and now you're like an adult doing it. You know, if you look around, there are things like adult ice skating classes, adult gymnastics classes. My friend was talking about joining an improv group because she's always kind of been interested in that, but never, like she's gone in like scene shows, right? But she has not been the one like on stage. So it could be something like that as well, just something that has piqued your interest that you've been interested in. But I think you're gonna meet them in that context. So I think earlier in this reading, I was like, oh, I wonder how you're gonna meet them, wait for another reading. I think we have our answer here. I also feel like that's relevant with our horse card here. Okay, could be very literal, you're taking horseback riding lessons or doing something on a ranch. Maybe you see horses day of, maybe you drive a Mustang or they drive a Mustang or a Bronco. But I also think this says a greater purpose calls you, you follow the winds of change and accomplish your dreams. And is that not literally what we've got here with like the Ace of Wands? I know it's smoke, but still kind of winds of change. We've got that Knight of Swords flying in the sky. We've got this tornado here. And then this Page of Wands also is like, hey, you don't have to stick to the plan, right? Things are going to change. And so, where were these? Up here somewhere. So I just really do think it's gonna be when you're trying something new that you're going to meet your person. And I think it's gonna be something that you're both just like kind of on a whim inspired to do. Very much like, hey, why not? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like that kind of energy, right? Like life is meant to be lived, life is supposed to be fun. Why wouldn't I sign up for a cooking class on a Tuesday night, right? Like who says I can't do that? You don't have to just go to work and go home. You can do more things. Okay. So this is just a card of encouragement. So this is, with this card, it's saying that I read this like literally a couple days ago doing another reading. So it's at the top of my mind. This is encouragement that you are loved. There is a greater purpose for you, a greater plan. So if you are currently in that hermit energy, you are by yourself and you're not necessarily mad about it. You're building a life that you love. Just know that still there is encouragement that like you are not forgotten. You are so loved. Everything is happening as it should and in the time that it should. Also here we see birth as a portal, and then we had the Queen of Cups here pregnant, so it's just very possible that having a family is in your future with this person. Yeah. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I mean, I think your person sounds really great. I think they sound really dependable, hardworking, but also fun. I think everyone's really going to love them, and that's what kind of annoys you a little bit. But maybe that's also why you guys start to like meet in the first place, is because they are so easy to talk to. Alrighty. If you enjoyed this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. My next video is going to be what they admire about you. So this week we learned about your person, and now next week we get to focus back onto you. All right, if this resonates, let me know how down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile 2. Welcome to your pick a card tarot reading all about your person. So you chose the Knight of Cups, or if you went by I choose for you or the universe chooses for you, you are Capricorn, Aries, Virgo, or Taurus. If this is not one of your signs, that is totally fine. It's just a second way of choosing what pile you are in. So today we're going to pull tarot cards to answer a few questions. We're going to see what your person's personality is, what you admire about your person, what annoys you about your person, what your journey together is going to look like, and then also signs that they are your person. For that last one, in addition to tarot cards, we are, wow. Also, okay, I'm just going to take this bottom one. We are also going to pull a couple of oracle cards. Okay, so what is pile 2's person's personality? I'm just going to split the deck. 2 here and 1 more. Okay. All right, pile 2, let's take a look at your person's personality. So we've got the Fool, 7 of Pentacles, 10 of Swords, the Sun, fantastic, and 2 of Cups. Wow, you've got a couple of the same cards that the last group had. They actually just had these in different parts of their reading. Okay. I think these are all very good things. Okay, so the first thing about your person with the Fool, I think they are down for trying new things. I think they're very much a, you know, the past doesn't define me. I am in charge of my destiny. I'm in charge of my destiny, but also like the world is on my side. So I don't know if maybe they consider themselves to be lucky, or they're just maybe confident that, hey, things are going to work out because what's not meant for me is not going to be. So it could just be they have this maturity about them, which can be in contrast to the Fool, but the Fool is just like so confident that things are going to work out. They're not afraid to enter onto a new journey. This could look like a bunch of different things. Maybe there's someone who's they did one career and then went back to school and switched careers, or throughout their schooling like changed their major a bunch of times. Whatever it is, maybe they moved around a lot, but whatever it is, they know that things are going to work out for them. I don't want you to think that they're flighty though. With the 7 of Pentacles here, this card represents this idea of patience, of cultivating something, of knowing that good things take time, right? We see her, she is at the vineyard checking the grapes, and they're not quite done yet, right? Some of them are red, they look ripe, some are still green, and so there is patience in that. So I think they're a hardworking person, and they understand that good things take time. They're not afraid of doing the hard work to achieve what they want to achieve. With this, you know, agricultural representation as well of 7 of Pentacles, I think that also goes back to like, I can put my effort in, but I'm also like, the universe is going to meet me halfway. right? Like you can't control how much it's going to rain or the temperature that it's going to be, right? You can control what you can do, right? As, a farmer. And so again, I think in the same way, they're like, yeah, I can apply to a bunch of jobs, but like only the right doors are going to open for me, right? I can't also do that. Like the universe is there as well. So I think they're just very balanced in their approach to life, in like a, yes, I'm going to work hard for things. Yes, I'm going to make decisions. Yes, I'm in charge, but also the universe is ultimately like going to lead me to where I want to be. So I think they're a confident person with the sun. We'll come back to Ten of Swords. With the sun as well, this is just being your most authentic, true self. And I think they're just very confident in who they are. I think they're confident. I think they're authentic, friendly. I think people like them. I think that maybe that's something that even attracts you to them, is you just feel like they are so genuine, right? You connect with them and you like that they're not afraid to show you like the messy and the dirty along with like the polished, right? They're not putting on some front pretending to be someone that they are not. And I think that's something that you sense right away. We will come back to Ten of Swords. Two of Cups as well. Back to that idea of like being very balanced. I think this person is balanced. I think this person also really enjoys being in a relationship. I think you two are going to be complementary to one another. And I think this person also does not settle for less. With the Two of Cups, it's like two people being finally equally matched, equally paired. And so I feel like I think they have high standards in their life and for themselves. But you're going to come in and obviously they're your person, right? So like you're going to be that perfect match, that perfect significant other. I also think in a relationship, they're very, again, balanced, equally matched. Like I don't think they're going to make you do like all the heavy lifting in whatever area it is, right? Emotions versus like you're in charge of like everything in the house, or you're in charge of like everything outside. I mean, unless you guys choose that one's in charge of stuff inside the house, one's in charge of the stuff outside of the house. But I think part of their nature is like, yeah, I know I need to like put effort into things. So I don't think they're gonna like leave you hanging with that kind of thing. I think even when it comes to like planning dates, so like earlier on, I think they'll like take the lead on planning the date, but then they might ask like, hey, like it might be a co-creation type of thing. Hey, would you be in the mood more for dinner or for coffee? You say, oh, I'd prefer coffee. Okay, great. Like I'll pick a place, right? So they're not putting like all of the burden on you or making you do the work, but they're taking this balanced approach of like, no, I'm still gonna plan it, but let me get your input to make sure it's something you actually want to do. So again, I think they just take this balanced approach, especially in this relationship. Now with the Ten of Swords right here, I think it's possible that your person has been betrayed in the past. This could be something like they've been cheated on in a relationship, or something they just didn't see coming. They thought things were going well with someone, right? They were about to propose and then they got broken up with. Like, I think it was something that they just like did not see coming. This could be loss of a different kind as well. It could be that they were pursuing like a job of some sort and then there were like layoffs. Could represent actually losing someone like grief, but I think because of this, they are, even though they trust the universe, I think they do still have scars from this. And so sometimes they are like, but what if it doesn't work out, right? At the same time, they're like, but I know it's going to work out, right? Because I'm going to do my part. The universe is going to do their part. But like, oof, that really hurt. And it might even be something that like, it's possible they don't even understand what happened or why this thing happened. Like it could be, we see someone running away here. It could be like a friend breakup, or again, like laying off at a company and they're like, I don't see the bigger picture of this. So I kind of wonder if that's something that I wonder if that's still going to be a mystery, and at what point that's going to reveal itself of like, okay, what was the greater purpose of like why I had to leave there? I think they have scars from it. Again, overall, I think they are hardworking, trust the universe, know that things are going to work for their best. But you can still be like, okay, I know this for the best, but like that still hurts. So yeah, they experienced some betrayal of some sort. Oh, your poor person. Okay, let's move these up so that we can now see what you admire about your person, what annoys you about your person. Also here, we've got pentacles, swords, and cups. So I don't think there's like a clear, at this point, I don't think there's a clear what sign they are, right? Like sun sign. But maybe we'll get that later. Okay, so what does pile 2 admire about their person? Ooh, I feel like this one was wanting to come out. And now what does pile 2, what annoys them about their person? Okay. If we need to pull clarifying cards, we will. Okay. So what do you admire? Page of Cups. And then what annoys you? Queen of Wands. Okay. This is great. So far, the things that annoy you about, like for pile 1 and you guys, they're not actually like negative things. So love to see that. So something you admire about your person is the Page of Cups. I feel like this aligns really great with the Fool and the idea of trying new things. The Page of Cups can be about being open to new experiences, creative projects, artistic endeavors, and not being afraid to approach it with this childlike innocence, this childlike energy, childlike enthusiasm, this, I don't care if I look silly while I'm doing this thing, I'm gonna do it for the pure joy of it. I think that's something you really admire about them. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if your person is like, oh hey, I signed us up for like a paint and sip, and it's like neither of you have like ever painted, well, since, you know, art 1 in high school, right? Like you have not painted, but they're like, come on, like it'll be a great time. And so I wonder if, since you admire this, I wonder if you are maybe you're the same way, right? And you're like, finally, I have someone who is not afraid to try new things. Or you might be someone who is more self-conscious, and so you actually really admire that like they cannot be self-conscious about trying new things, wearing a new style. I feel like they're just down for like, yeah, I'll do anything once, right? And then see how we like it and go from there. I think they're really fun. I think they're fun and don't care what other people think about them, which also aligns with the Sun of them just being like their true authentic self. They're their authentic self, and they're also, they haven't lost what it means to be human, right? They're not putting on a front. They're their true self, whether that means, yeah, I tried striped pants one day and you know what? That's not the look. I don't like it, but hey, I tried it because, again, I'll try everything once. The Queen of Wands, great card. I love this card. So this card, unlike the Page of Cups, very like childlike innocence, right? Queens are more mature. The Queen of Wands, she's someone who makes decisions out of confidence, not out of fear. And she's also someone who can pour back into others. So you're probably like, how does that annoy me? It could be something like a jealous, like, dang, I wish I was that way, right? Like you're so confident, you just trust the universe like it's gonna work out. Yes, you might be nervous about it, but you trust that. So instead of maybe making like what you would feel is like the safe decision, or, well, okay, this is kind of risky, right? They're like confident in that. So that could be like a point of contention where you're like, no, this is risky, like let's not do it. And they're like, no, I've done the research, like things are going to be fine. Let's assume things are going to work out for the best. So part of their personality, that part at times, it might annoy you. With the Queen of Wands also being someone who can like pour energy into others, with Wands we get a lot of creative pursuits, entrepreneurship, plans and goals. Like it can be like school or work related as well. And so it annoys you possibly that they're feeding back into others. Maybe they're taking a mentorship role at some point. It doesn't have to be when you meet them, but maybe at some point they do take on a mentorship role and it's taking a lot of their time or energy, and you feel like their time and energy is split more than it should be. So it could be something like that. So I guess watch out for that in the future if that's a conversation you need to have of like, hey, your family is here. We're losing some of this, you know, equal Two of Cups status we've got. I need to pour back into the family, or, you know, into us versus other people. Could be something like that. But again, I don't think it's like a bad thing. I don't think they are crazy. I don't think they're like overly emotional or like secretive or, you know, there's a lot of cards in tarot that could represent much more negative things than like the freaking Queen of Wands. She is wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna just pop these like on top of that right there. Next, I want to see, what does your journey look like with your person? Whoa, this flipped out. So pile 2, what does their journey look like with their person? We'll do one more shuffle and then cut the deck if we need to. Ooh. Couple have flown out. Let's do this and we'll do another one for good measure, because why not? Don't know if you saw, this flew out. 10 of Cups. Beautiful card. Complete emotional fulfillment. There's a family on there, right? They're relaxing with their cat by the river, having a nice picnic, so in love. So if you want a family someday, you can have it with this person. And if a family to you is pets, that's fine as well, right? You can have whatever the ideal family looks for you, you can have that. Again, 10 of Cups is like ultimate relational fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. I think we go from the 2 of Cups here feeling really balanced to like truly living that balanced life. And yeah, amazing. Okay, let's see what else we've got. 7 of Swords, the Chariot, 3 of Pentacles, Strength. Okay, I'm glad we got 10 of Cups and focused on that first, because some of these I am like, what is that? So a moment ago I said the thing that annoys you is not that they're deceptive, but it looks like at some point of your journey. Also, by the way, we've got a couple of 7s here. Did we have any 7s earlier? Yeah, 7 of Pentacles. Okay, so 7s might be significant to you. So July is the 7th month. What's the 7th zodiac? Aries is the first one. I don't know what the 7th one is. But yeah, so 7, so it could be July. That's significant. July 7th. I don't know. 7s, but that could be like a sign for you, potentially. Okay, but like I said, I don't think ultimately this person's like deceptive or anything, but there is a moment at some point in your journey, possibly at the beginning, where there might be some deception. Now, don't freak out. This could be as simple as you meet on a dating app and they use their middle name instead of their first name. And you're like, why would you do that? But then maybe it's like they're a therapist. They don't want their clients to like see them or something. like that. I don't know. Possibly there's going to, yeah, be something kept hidden. And maybe this is a you thing, by the way. Maybe you do something that ultimately you guys have to like make a choice on, okay, are we like pursuing this or not? So I don't think this is necessarily like a love at first sight kind of situation, or like I'm sure right away. I think you actually kind of go through something at the beginning that forces you to like make a choice. With the Three of Pentacles here, I think that your community is going to be important to you. Whether this is friends, colleagues, family, church, or any other organizations. I think that's going to be an important like support system. Like I think you guys are going to be involved with them and them with you. And I almost wonder if all of this is at the beginning of like something happens, you have to make a choice, and your friends kind of convince both of you separately that like this isn't that big of a deal, keep pursuing this, right? So I don't know if someone like maybe lies about their job or isn't fully truthful, or maybe it's even just like a misunderstanding and one of you is like, that's deception, and then your friends are like, no, that's an honest mistake. So if your relationship kind of starts out bumpy, it ultimately ends with the 10 of Cups. So everything's going to work out. It's just not going to be so obvious at the beginning. I think that once you guys are together, you are going to weather storms, and you're going to weather them with confidence. So I think you're going to be, remember how your person is confident. You know, they are at times scared. They're confident, like the universe is on their side. I think the same is going to go for you guys. Even when the world is falling apart, you're like, we're going to be okay. Even if there's external circumstances, loss of a job, maybe unexpectedly having to move for a job, right? Maybe it's a good thing, it's a promotion, but like, oh my God, what? Now we have to move, maybe even move internationally. But even when like the outside things are falling apart, maybe there's family troubles, death in the family, you guys are good. And you're walking through this as a solid team. Back to that like Two of Cups. Right there. Even through these troubling times, you're still there for each other. So the road is not going to be easy for you two by any means, but it is ultimately going to lead to happiness. Like you're going to be happy with one another. You're going to feel loved. You're going to love them. You're going to be pouring out your love into others, whether it is babies or cats or dogs or farm animals. Yeah. Interesting. Should we pull a clarifying card for this? Why not? Why not? We got time. Okay, can we get a clarifying card for this Seven of Swords specifically? But if there's more info on these first three cards, you know. Okay. The Hierophant. Okay. So the Hierophant card is about traditions. It can also represent like education, like traditional teaching and learning, like at a university or something like that. But it could also just represent traditional things like marriage would be like a very like traditional institutional thing. I don't know. One time I went on a date with someone and in their bio it said they were a graduate of a university, and I was like, oh, how did you like going there? And they're like, oh no, I just started my online like graduate program through the school. And I felt kind of taken aback because I was like, oh, I thought you presented yourself as having already graduated from this. And so I was like, that's deception. But had I just from the start knew no, I just started this program, like I wouldn't have had a problem with it. It was because I felt like I was deceived. So I don't know if it's something like that, or maybe you feel like deception, you had a misunderstanding, or they could have flat out lied. It could have been purposeful, but it could have just been a misunderstanding of like reading the dating profile of where they went to school, or even like marriage status. Like I wonder if like they are divorced and maybe they bring that up on like the first date or something. And I feel like people have different views on that, if people should mention that in a profile or if it's really like no big deal, like the past is the past. So it could be something like that. Interesting. Okay, so now I want to do, I'm just going to move these up again. We need to do signs that they are your person. Okay. If you're enjoying this reading, you can give it a like and subscribe. My next reading is going to be what your person admires about you, what they like about you, and why, I feel like this one was coming out, why they are attracted to you. So yeah, subscribe if you would like to see that next week. But first, let's focus on signs that they are your person. Pile 2, signs, we're gonna take that one as well, are your person. I'm also going to grab a spirit animal. Let's put it there. Ram, perseverance. We'll read that in a moment. And then we're also going to get a starseed oracle. Lost lands, soul memories and gifts. You've done this before. Okay. Yep, I think we just have to pile on top. Okay. Fascinating. We've got perseverance when I feel like definitely 5 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands are perseverance. So let's read what this says. There we go. You have many gifts. No problem can withstand the power of your mind. With patience, you can reach your mountaintop. Never give up, and good luck will follow. The fact that there's multiple people here, and multiple people in this one, and multiple people in this one, makes me think you're possibly meeting in a group setting. I mentioned this, like, this 3 of Pentacles, that like community is going to be important, friend groups potentially, or colleagues. So I do kind of wonder if you meet maybe at a friend's event, party, graduation, cocktail hour, office party, something like that. And maybe that's where this misunderstanding comes from, where you're like, oh, you were at this office cocktail party. I thought you worked at this office. And they're like, no, I was there with my friend. I have this completely different career. So like the deception doesn't have to be, again, like purposeful or crazy. It could be something as simple as that. With the Ram, that is the sign for Aries. So possible they're in Aries. We did have the Queen of Wands energy earlier. We've got 10 of Wands here. You don't have a ton of Wand energy, but they could be a fire sign or have Aries in their chart. All of these cards take place outside. I mean, most of the cards in this deck do, but it could be some event that is outside where you meet them. With the 6 of Swords, I feel like you're going to meet them at an event that you did not originally intend on going to. But something, you either found out about it last minute, or yeah, like your friend was like, hey, I have office happy hour tonight. Will you please, please, please go with me? And you're like, I was going to do laundry tonight, but like, fine. I don't know. So I kind of think it was something you weren't necessarily going to go to. Or maybe it's you know, it could be vice versa. Like you were the one that invited your friend to said event. You meet someone at your office, happy hour. You think they worked in the office. Turns out they were also someone's like plus one there. But I feel like you weren't expecting to meet someone here, or you weren't expecting to meet them at this event for sure. I think this is like, I think you're gonna be tired at this event. Like, I think that it is like, oh my God, it's a Thursday during the work week. Like, I'm exhausted. This week has been so rough. And so I think you're maybe not on your best. Maybe you don't look your best. Maybe you're not super happy. Maybe you're not your truest. Well, you're your true self, not your tired self, but you're not the self that you would typically like meet new people with. I think you're tired. It could be because it's winter, could be because it's night, could be because it's the end of a work week or a busy season for you. In the Five of Pentacles, we have traditionally in the Rider-Waite deck, this is a church. So this could be an event at a church, but also when I think of churches nowadays, I think of like auditoriums or gymnasiums. So it could be an event held there. Maybe there's children at it. So maybe, again, your friend is like, will you come with me to my niece's basketball game? Or something like that. But again, I think it's some event that you didn't have on your radar. It's last minute, you're tired, you're maybe not your best self while you're going to this. Yeah, I think potentially that is the context in which you meet your person. We also have here, though, with the Ram Perseverance, you know, with patience you can reach your mountaintop, no problem can withstand the power of your mind. 10 of Wands, he's literally, or she, they are literally climbing this mountain. So we can take this literally, right? You could meet them hiking. Or at, you know, REI or something like that. But I think maybe you're meeting them when you are finishing some journey with yourself. Like maybe you are the one at the end of like a degree program, or again, it's busy season at work. Maybe you're an accountant and you're getting through like tax season, or like a string of audits where you had to travel and it was like really exhausting. So back to, I think you're gonna meet them when you're exhausted and maybe not feeling like you're your best self. And potentially that is why this misunderstanding happens, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm so mad. But then it's like, no, once you just get like a good night's sleep and a cup of coffee in the morning, you realize like it's not that big a deal. Let's look at this other oracle card, Lost Lands, Soul Memories and Gifts. You've done this before. Let me look in the book for this and see if there's anything relevant here. Okay. If you feel guided to make a change in your life, to step into a new career path, birth a creation, or bring an idea to life, but feel unprepared, this card is calling you to consider that you've done this before. Perhaps your soul has wisdom beyond what your lifespan can imagine. Perhaps the intuitive hits and ideas you're receiving are divinely guided. Perhaps you've been preparing for this time. Some think that lost lands exist in the past, others believe they exist today in a different dimension. I believe these ancient lands also exist in the souls of those who experience them. Through the intelligence of your soul, you can unlock the seeds of these ancient lands so we can all learn from our mistakes and usher in a new age. So potentially, this isn't like a new event that you went to. Potentially, it's like you are so tired from maybe your career. Again, maybe it's like you just finished up like a graduate program, or you know, you just finished nursing school and like you took the NCLEX and like you have had to do perseverance, and then a job opportunity that you weren't really necessarily looking for but is catching your eye, is catching your intuition. Maybe that's what ultimately leads you to finding your person. Maybe it's a job that deals with kids and you were like, I never thought I wanted to work with kids. And that's what ultimately leads you to finding your person. So I think if I had to give like advice or sum up this section, I would say, first of all, really great job for working hard and keeping the perseverance. The 10 indicates like this, you're almost done, right? You're almost starting that next chapter. Don't be afraid of something that like catches your curiosity, even if you're like, well, this wasn't part of the plan. This wasn't what I had thought. This wasn't the path I saw myself going down. If you're drawn to something, don't be afraid to look into it more, right? We've got multiple cards here saying that. Okay, so those are some signs that they are your person. Alrighty, pile 2. Well, your person sounds great. I think they've got this great mix of like, I'm a hard worker, but I also believe in the universe. It doesn't mean they're without their wounds. But ultimately remember, like, you've got the 10 of Cups waiting for you guys. This is your future with your person. So now you just have to meet them. If you have met them already, tell us in the comments below. What was the circumstance going on? Like, what was the journey that you were ending, or like, what were you tired from? And what unexpected thing was your intuition telling you to pursue that ultimately led you to this person? Alrighty, make sure to like this video and subscribe to see more. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose the Lover's card, you are in the correct spot. If you had the universe, or me pulling little pieces of paper out to tell you what group to be in, then you should be Sagittarius, Leo, Pisces, or Gemini. If you are not one of those signs, that is totally fine. This is just for people who don't like making decisions. So that is who the universe said to come here. But if you intuitively chose the Lovers, you're also welcome here. I'm going to put this to the side, right there where you can still see it. So today we are going to be talking all about your person. We're going to start with looking at your person's personality. We'll then ask what you admire about your person and also what annoys you about your person. We are then going to look at what your journey together looks like. That was a terrible shuffle. Let's do that again. And then finally, we're going to look at signs that they are your person. And in addition to tarot cards, we will also be pulling some oracle cards for that. So what is pile 3's person's personality? We'll do one more shuffle and then we'll cut the deck. Ooh, I feel like that one flew out. Okay, and let's get one more. Cut the deck and take this one. Okay. Some of these cards I have seen in other readings as well. So that is, I know that glares a lot for that. That is the 8 of Cups. I guess I'll put her down there for now. Okay, so what is your person's personality? Okay, so off the bat, we've got 3 major arcana cards. And then we've got a few cards. We've got a Knight and the 8 of Cups. So I think they're mature. I think they're like, they've lived their life a bit. So if you are someone who is, in your mid to late 20s or 30s or 40s watching this, then I think your person is also, mature, grown up, has lived life. Okay, starting with the 8 of Cups, your person knows when to walk away from things, and that is such an excellent, I don't know what you want to call it, skill, trait, intuition, ability to have. And they have had to do this before. This could be a relationship they had to walk away from. It seems like it was a really hard decision. Potentially they've had to cut off toxic family members. It's also possible they left a job that was like no longer fulfilling for them. But considering that this is an 8, I do think this was a significant decision and something they had spent a lot of time on. So again, if it was a relationship, I think it was like a serious relationship, if not engaged or married. Again, could be a family member, right? Someone you have long-term connections with, or a job that they worked really hard for. Maybe even like changing career paths. Like, wow, I worked so hard. I got my potentially degree in this. If not, like I've apprenticed and I've done the things I need to do, and now it's either not what I thought it was, or it served me for a few years, but like now I'm ready for something else. So I think there was a significant walking away from something in your person's life, which again, really good thing to be able to do. Like, that is a skill that I admire in people. I think because of that, your person is not afraid to try new things and they know things are going to work out. With that being said, with the judgment here, the judgment is like the end of a journey, but like a journey you've done before. So again, I just think back to like, they know everything's going to be okay because like I have had to start over before, whether it's with a relationship or with a job. They're like, yeah, I've been new at a job before. This ain't my first rodeo. Yep. A lot of people hate when you talk about dating, they're like, I don't want to have to learn someone's favorite color. Like, I don't want to have to learn all the little things. Just like talk about surface level things. But like that, you have to talk about the surface level before you get to the deep stuff, right? You have to talk breadth before you can go into depth with getting to know someone. And so I feel like this person has a positive attitude about that. Like, they're not one of those people that's like, oh my God, I don't want to learn someone's favorite color. They're like, I am so excited to get to learn everything about a new person. Like, I think they're just so on board for it. Or if they've potentially like moved around, they're like, no, I'm excited to find where my new grocery store is going to be. I'm excited to know where my gas station is. So like, of course, it's normal if they also have, maybe a little bit of fear or, dread, but I think that's not the overarching feeling. It's like genuinely like excitement when they get to do new things or start over. I think they're very much like, I have learned from last time, and like this time is going to be so much better because again, I've learned, I've been here before, I know what I'm doing, I know I'm doing better. Let's go. I think this is an optimist. I think this is very much an optimist. Again, that's not to say that they can't have rough moments, but I think they're very optimistic about things. With the Knight of Pentacles, we also see someone who is willing to build stability. So the Knight, Knights are indicative of movement, and the Knight is the one that goes the slowest. So this could indicate, if we're thinking like relationship wise, maybe they are someone who does like stay surface level for a while, or maybe they are someone who's like, no, I want to date you for a couple months before becoming exclusive. I don't think they're going to be slow to like plan a date because they're not like lazy. They are motivated to take action, and they will take action. It's just things are a little slower. Maybe you're used to dating people who are like, we had such a great date, when can I see you next? Are you free tomorrow? And then you see them, 7 days in a row, and then you're like completely burnt out from each other. And in contrast, this person's gonna be like, I had a really great time with you. What day next weekend like, are you free next weekend? And then that date goes well. And they're like, awesome, are you free next weekend, right? So it's like, it's moving either like slower or at a different pace than you're used to, but that's not a bad thing. They're building that foundation. This could, in non-relationship areas, indicate them understanding that, like, hey, to get to the career that I want, I have to complete steps, you know, A through E before I get to like where I want to actually be. And they're not afraid to put in that hard work and do that. Even if it means moving around or moving around different companies. They're like, I know this is what's best for me. Yes, it's a new journey, but like it's new and it's not new, right? Like I've been the new guy at a company before. I've been the new guy at this military base. I've been the new person in a city. This is what I have to do in order to build my stability. And again, they're aware of like when something is too much and when they need to walk away from it and try something new. But they're definitely not like a quitter. They're not like, oh, I'm gonna try it, I don't like it, like I give up. That is not them. They're gonna see it through. Maybe even too far, right? 8, like in tarot, the cards usually go like 1 through 10, right? And then like start over with a new cycle. And so 8 means like you have gotten pretty far with something. Interestingly, we have the Devil card. The Devil card can indicate a lot of things. On the like lighter end, I'm going to say, it can indicate things like self-sabotaging behaviors. So that could be self-doubt, procrastination. We see he's holding a bag of money here as well as ice cream. So it can be, you know, spending money faster than you make it. It could indicate, you know, like eating ice cream for dinner versus like which, hey, I think every now and then that's a great decision. But you know, eating ice cream for dinner every night instead of like eating a vegetable every now and then, or, you know, whatever it might be. On the more extreme side of this card, it can also represent addictions like alcohol or drugs. But again, it's a wide spectrum. But essentially, this card represents like things that are probably not the best for you, but you feel like you're in this cycle of continuing to do them. So take what resonates, but it could, so like this could be someone who has had addiction in the past or present, but again, it could be on the lighter side, like self-doubt, self-sabotage, procrastination, which is interesting because like I said, they're such an optimist and they're willing to put in the hard work. They know when to walk away. I almost wonder if they stay in something too long and like that's the self-sabotage that's going on. Like, did they know way earlier on that this career field or this person, this relationship was not going to work out, but they like stayed in it anyway because they are so dedicated? It could be something like that. So maybe it's like, yes, they know when to walk away, but it takes them kind of a long time to get to that step. So that might be something to look out for. And that also, with the Knight of Pentacles, again, it's like movement, but it's slow moving. Again, I just wonder if they are slow to kind of make those decisions. It's worked out for them, it has, but potentially they're not willing to face something sooner. So maybe that's something you can help them with. My next reading is going to be what your person loves about you, why they're attracted to you. So subscribe if you want to see if that is something that you end up helping them with. Okay. Put this up. My battery is flashing, so I am going to change it and then we are going to continue with our next questions. I'll see you in 1 second. Alrighty, I am back. So now we are going to look up, what does pile 3, whoa, admire about their person? want to pull another one. For other piles, oh my god, we did 5 and 6 of, I swear these are shuffled. I don't know why those were next to each other. Okay, things you admire about your person. Huh. I feel like this one pop out as well. Yeah, with other piles, I only pulled one card for admire and annoy. Okay, and then, so that's admire. Now, what annoys pile 3 about their person? Okay. Okay, I think I'm getting a clear picture here. I'm just gonna move the lovers over here a little bit. Okay. So we're gonna start with what you admire about your person. We got 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups, as well as the Hermit. So I think what you admire about your person is even when they do have these like rough times where they do have to walk away and start over, even though they're generally optimistic about it, they do still feel their feelings about it. Like they recognize this sense of loss, this sense of, man, I put so much effort into this and it's not coming to fruition. Darn. So they feel their feelings, but that does not change how they then interact with others. Like they're not a jaded person. Like they could lose their job and then later that day, I mean, I hope they don't lose their job, but you know, something bad could happen to them and then they go grocery shopping after work and they see a little old lady trying to, you know, put her groceries in her car and they're like, oh, like, let me help you with that, right? They're not so consumed with like, well, I'm having a bad day, people need to be nice to me. They're like, nope, yes, that's happening, but like, I'm still going to give back to others. I'm still going to be nice. I'm still going to be pleasant to be around. My dog sees another dog outside. Okay. So just because something bad is happening with them does not mean they like take it out on the world. I also think there's someone though who, when they have their emotions, right, they're like grieving over this thing that they lost, and you can grieve over, you know, the loss of a job, a promotion, a friend, you know, an opportunity that you thought that you had. I think they do like to go be by themselves and to recover. Like, so they might be kind of introverted in that sense. Maybe they get bad news and they're like, you know, they get home, you don't even know they got bad news, and you're like, hey, I need to, or they say, I'm gonna go for a run, right? Because they just need to process by themselves, and then they come back and they tell you about it. Could be literally like they need to go camping for a weekend. But I think they process their emotions healthily. I think they like to be by themselves. And this is something you admire about them. You admire that they're not blowing up on you or blowing up on others. And when they're by themselves, I don't see it as like, oh, they're gonna go like do their addictions or like fall off the wagon. I don't think it's that. I think it's like, I just need to be by myself. I need to ground myself. Again, whether it's I'm gonna go for a run, or I'm going to go camping, go for an overnight, go fishing, go for a hike, go read a book in a cafe and just like get lost, get lost in the book for a while. Yeah, I think it's a very healthy way to deal with things. And so you're like, you know, maybe that's not how I would do it, but I admire that about you. So something to keep in mind with your person is if they do take a while to tell you about disappointing news, that means nothing about like their trust in you. It means nothing about your relationship. It doesn't mean that you're not like, you know, if you're someone who you're like, oh my God, as soon as I hear bad news, I need to like process it with someone else. They're just not that way. And that's just good for you to know that they are not that way. Again, literally no reflection on you. I think they will talk with you about it later, but they just need to process some things by themselves. And again, I think that's like, I don't, like, it would be over here if you were annoyed with it, right? So I think you admire it. Now, something that annoys you does go back to what we were talking about earlier with like walking away, but walking away pretty late. We see the Ten of Wands here. This person is struggling. This person is tired. They're by themselves carrying all these broomsticks up this steep, steep mountain. And so I think what annoys you about your person is sometimes they do take things way too far when it's like, hey, this is not helping anyone. And they're like, but I made a commitment. And it's like, I hear you, but like, this is not healthy for you. Also, like, you are so slowly getting up this mountain. Like, they're not going to be upset if you tag team out and someone else carries these up the mountain. Like, this is not serving you. You're not really serving them at this point. Like, walk away. And I think they have this air of confidence about them. So I think you don't even know that they are struggling when they clearly are. This could also be like not work related. I think this could also be like anytime they're struggling, I don't really think they want you to see. They want you to see like the optimist, right? Back to like they like to process alone. But I think you don't even like, possibly by the time this has happened, like you might have had a whiff of it, but you did not realize either how severe it was, how long this has been going on. This could also even be something like, let's say your partner, your person is like, hey, I will go ahead and, okay, I don't know why this example is coming to mind. Maybe you are like postpartum, right? And you are like, you're taking care of yourself and baby, and you're like, I'm just trying to keep us both alive. And they're like, don't worry about it. I'm going to do all the meals, do all the cleaning. I'm also working, and I will, for the nighttime feedings, like I will take care of it. Like something like that, right? They're being like, they're doing a lot, right? You're postpartum. You can't do too much. I mean, you should be able to take care of yourself and heal, right? But then I think maybe they are like trying to cook like this gourmet meal every night, and something about it is like taking on way too much, and then they are burnt out too, and now we've just got two tired people. But you're like, what? Like, you didn't need to do that. We could order out one night a week. When you bake a meal, bake enough so that it lasts us 2 days. Like, you don't have to do a brand new thing from scratch every time. But they're putting on this air of confidence and like, no, I want to help. Like, I'm gonna do the thing. I made this commitment. I said I'm gonna do it. And you're like, buddy, call in reinforcements. Like, you know, maybe you've got people offering to come make you meals or like come clean the house or something. I don't know why that again is coming to mind, but be careful, I guess, of your person. I don't think there's like resentment or anything, but I think your person tends to either bite off more than they can chew or take on too much. I guess that's the same as bite off more than you can chew, but take on too much and not realize it until like, oh shoot, it's way later. But instead of asking for help right away, they kind of do let it go way too far. And you're like, sir, if you had told me on, you know, day 3 that you were struggling with X, Y, and Z, I could have like come up with a solution and we did not have to get to this point, right? And you still could have been fulfilling your duty, like doing the thing, but you wouldn't be like exhausted at this point. So you have to watch out for this person because, okay, not like in a bad way, but I think they're gonna be sneaky and not let you know when they need help. So do with that what you will. Interesting. Okay, we are now going to look at what your journey together is going to look like. I'm just going to move some of these up so we have more room. Okay, what is pile 3's journey going to look like with their person? Okay, we're going to just bottom of the deck energy. Okay, so what is pile 3's journey going to look like with this person? I'm looking at this question and I kind of wonder if, I feel like I might have skipped this for pile 2, but I don't. That's gonna be a shame if I did. Okay. So what does your journey together look like? I think you guys are going to be complementary and equals. Literally every groups 1, 2, and 3 all got this card today, so that's great. I think you're going to feel equally matched. You're going to feel equally paired. You're going to be complementary to one another, right? You have different strengths. You have different weaknesses, which again, you're going to have to teach your person to ask for help, or you're going to need to learn their signs, their tells for like when they need help. But I think you guys are going to be a good match. You're going to be very complementary. What more could we ask for? I think there's going to be a moment where you feel like it's us against the world almost. You're gonna feel backed into a corner. And maybe this is like, this could be external things of like, okay, we thought that you were going to, like, your boss promised you this promotion. That's why you worked all those holidays, I don't know. And now, like, again, they're like laying you off, or they promised this promotion and a move to this great place, and really we're moving to like this terrible place that we do not want to move to. There could also be moments where, if this is relating to like toxic family, then I think there could be a time when you guys are dealing with that as a couple as well. Maybe you guys are financially successful and your person's family comes in and they're wanting to like borrow money, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, like we have a boundary. And they're like, well, you have enough to spare, you can afford it. You don't, like, you won't miss if there's, you know, we borrow a couple $1,000s, like you won't miss it. And you're like, no, this is our boundary, like we do not loan money to family or friends, like that's just not something we do. And so I think you guys are gonna feel like, oh my god, everyone's attacking us or against us. You guys are gonna be fine, but there's gonna be a moment where you're like, what the heck? It's us against the world, and I feel crazy for it, but you're not the crazy ones. With the star, we've got new beginnings. It's interesting here. This reduces to 8. That's an 8. But the new beginnings, you know, like the Fool as well as Judgment pretty much mean like new beginnings or cycles. So I think there's going to be a lot of newness. Like maybe you guys move somewhere you've never lived before. You take vacations you've never gone on before. Like I said with the Knight of Pentacles earlier as well, it's possible this relationship just feels very new to you in the way it's approached, right? They're very slow. And you're like, huh, this is new. This is different. This could also represent that this is a new person and not someone you already know. Yeah, sorry if that breaks your heart, but I think this is possibly someone that you don't know. I'm also wondering now, I mean, the Devil, I think it is self-sabotage in, like, I let things go too far before ending them, even when they're harming me. You know what? Never mind. I was gonna say maybe they, like, sabotage relationships too, but I don't think so. I think it's they, back to that 10 of Wands, they don't show people they're struggling, so never mind about that. But a lot of new beginnings with this person, like new things, which is really exciting. Who knows, maybe they're like, maybe you've always wanted to dye your hair a certain color and you've been afraid to, and they're like, go for it, you should totally do it. Like, I just think there's a lot of new things there. You're equally matched. There is going to be a moment where, again, you against the world. Oh, the world. So what does your journey look like? I think y'all are going to accomplish a lot. I think you're going to have many celebrations. The world can be like a celebration about like ending a chapter and starting a new one, right? So like weddings, that is represented with the world. Graduations. You could potentially meet at a wedding or a graduation. Or like a promotion party for somebody. Probably yourself, unless it's their promotion party. But I think you guys are going to feel, I think the universe is on your side, you know. I think you're not going to have to like worry too much when you're together. Again, you're going to be aware that they're not going to let you know if they're like struggling with especially like work things or like just taking on too many tasks. And you'll have something, again, I feel like this is maybe with like toxic family. It could also be like, if this is like church related at all, the Eight of Cups, the walking away, this could be, again, dispute, conflict in like the church or like another group. So you're going to have a little bit of that, but I don't think this is like a theme of your time together. I just think it's something that is going to happen at some point. So like, be aware it's you two against the problem, right? I don't foresee them. I think they're fine. I think you guys are going to be fine. I think you'll be more stressed out than they are with this, to be honest. But yeah, you might meet at a wedding or a celebration of some sort. I also think you're gonna have a bunch of celebrations together. Yeah, I don't know, not too exciting, but we love that, right? Okay, now let's get into signs that they are your person. So we're going to take a few tarot cards, just whatever pops out. Okay, pile 3, what are some signs that they have met their person, or that this is their person? Let's also do bottom of the deck energy. Oh, okay. And then we're also going to pull a spirit of the animal. Ooh, cat, independent. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. And then we're also going to pull an oracle card from the Starseed Oracle. Oh. You got the love. Oh. Hadarian energy, codependency, boundaries. Okay, so this is signs that they are your person. I do kind of wonder if you, with the Ten of Cups here, if you do meet them at some sort of event, a family gathering of some sort, like, again, wedding, that's a time when families are together, someone's graduating, maybe someone's like moving house and they have a house party and you go with a friend. I don't know, I just think it's going to be a group setting and a celebration of some sort in which you meet them. There's a few things here. I don't know that you're necessarily in the best headspace when you're meeting them. We've got independent here. Nine of Swords is like anxiety. But then here we also have like codependency and boundaries. So I almost wonder if it's after like, oh, sorry to say, like a rough breakup. Or if you're getting over in your last relationship, maybe you did have poor boundaries. Or maybe you didn't have poor boundaries. Maybe you did have boundaries and they kept crossing them. And you just feel really, really sick about it, still anxious about it, still ruminating on it. Almost like a what did I do wrong when it had nothing to do with you, right? It was them who was crossing it. Well, I mean, I guess it could be that you were crossing boundaries and they ended things. And now you're like, oh my God, how do I not do that again? Or like, what should I have done differently? So I guess that could go either way. But I think a relationship has ended because of some sort of boundary crossing and you're now independent. So I think you are, I think you're single when you meet them, but possibly not in the best headspace. But you do go to a celebration of some sort. Again, I think it's like, I'm really feeling wedding, but I can't think of any other celebrations right now. But yeah, I think you meet them when you're out with a bunch of people celebrating. And I think you're gonna know this is your person because they're emotionally mature. So potentially that's what was missing, or not missing, but perhaps your last partner, you cannot say the same. You could not say that they were emotionally mature. And so this person very much is like, they feel their emotions, but they're in control of them. We do have water in a few of these pictures, so potentially they're a water sign, or you meet them, so that would be Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Or you meet them during one of those seasons, Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces season. I know there are a lot of cats on here, but that's because it's a witch tarot, so there are cats in almost every card. But hey, if you want to take a cat as a sign or a confirmation, you know, you do you. I was gonna say something. I forgot. Give me 1 second. Okay, I remember. I was gonna say maybe the event or celebration is like a 4th of July thing, or like a holiday party. I was thinking 4th of July because like you might be out on the water, like boating or camping or something like that. I don't know. Other signs, they could have blue eyes. We see blue eyes here. We've got lots of blondies over here. I'm assuming they've got blue eyes. Yeah, I think you're just not in a good headspace. I'm so sorry to say. I think you're just not in a great headspace when you do meet them. Like, you're anxious or thinking about like a past relationship. But you're single now. Like, you are single, so like everything's above board, but I think you're just not, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this event and maybe it'll get my spirits up. And then, hey, what do you know? You meet your person. What could be better than that? I mean, overall, I think this is a good reading, right? We've established that your person is optimistic. They're not afraid to start over. And starting over is not a bad thing, right? Whatever is going to have us more in line with our soul purpose is like what we need to do. They are going to be difficult in terms of letting you know when they need help, so you're going to have to watch out for that. But you also admire like how they process things. You admire their emotional maturity. And I think that's something that is different for you about them. If they take things kind of slow, like, don't worry about it. And who knows, maybe they're taking things slow with this because they meet you in a group setting, a friend of a friend is like, hey, she just went through like a really rough breakup, right? So maybe that is why you like things feel slow, is because he's like, no, I'm trying, sorry, I keep saying your person, it can be whatever gender, or non-binary, but maybe they're like, no, I want to I don't want you to feel all consumed with like a new person if you also like need time to heal or like be independent or like figure out what you want, kind of a thing. But yeah, these seem great, and I think you're gonna have so many new experiences. You're gonna feel equally matched. Yes, there might be tough times, but like y'all are gonna be fine. I'm really not worried about it. I think you are on the same page. It's just like, God, we gotta deal with these like crazy family members or whoever it is. And the Ten of Cups, such a wonderful card to pull in a love reading, right? Ultimate emotional fulfillment, ultimate relational fulfillment, family, right? If that's something that you want. If not, maybe you have a family of cats or dogs or animals of some sort. Alrighty, pile 3. That is your reading. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want to see more readings. If this resonates, let me know in the comments down below how it does. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.